This is Costa68 again, decided to make another video, this time about Hillary Clinton since she decided to run for president in 2016. Noticed a bunch of comments on Twitter about her role in Benghazi, but nothing about the part she played in Libya's destruction. It's really a sad state of affairs when no one seems to care that we went into that country to supposedly protect them from this brutal dictator, but all that's happened is utter chaos and anarchy, thousands dead, and this psychopath, which you'll see on this clip, laughs it up as like she's so proud to have killed Gaddafi. So after that, I'm going to show a couple of articles illustrating how evil this person really is. So here we go.
So, I mean, that is the land of unconfirmed videos.
Yes, we came, we saw, he died.
Did it have anything to do with your visit?
No, I'm sure it did.
Here's an article by Webster Tarpley, who I'm not a huge fan of, but it just drives the point home that she is a neocon war criminal and serves Israel perfectly, titled Hillary Clinton, the International Neocon Warmonger. I'm going to read an excerpt here. Beginning with Africa, Hillary defended the 1998 cruise missile strike on the El Shifa pharmaceutical plant in the Sudanese capital of Khartoum, destroying the largest producer of cheap medications for treating malaria and tuberculosis and providing over 60% of available medicines in Sudan. In 2006, she supported sending United Nations troops to Darfur with logistical and technical support provided by NATO forces. Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi was outspoken in his condemnation of this intervention, claiming it was not committed out of concern for Sudanese people, but for oil and the return of colonialism to the African continent. This is the same leader who was murdered in the aftermath of the 2011 NATO bombing of Libya, an attack promoted and facilitated with the eager support of Mrs. Clinton. In an infamous CBS interview said regarding this international crime, "We came, we saw, he died." As Time magazine pointed out in 2011, the administration understood removing Gaddafi from power would allow terrorist cells active in Libya to run rampant in the vacuum left behind. Just last month, the New York Times reported that Libya has indeed become a terrorist safe haven and failed state, conducive for exporting radicals through rat lines to the conflict against Assad in Syria. See, that's the thing. This whole Benghazi psyop, which it was used to send arms and terrorists into Syria. So all these people complaining about 4 dead Americans need to realize that those Americans were there helping destroy Libya and to further destroy Syria. Guess which country benefits from that? Israel. So to wrap it up here, I'm going to read an excerpt from Seymour Hersh where he describes what really went on with Benghazi, something you won't ever hear from the right-wing neocons that bitch and complain about Benghazi. But because of this information, the real truth will never be exposed. So here we go. Highly classified annex to the report, not made public, describes a secret agreement reached in early 2012 between the Obama and Erdogan administrations. It pertained to the rat line. By the terms of the agreement, funding came from Turkey as well as Saudi Arabia and Qatar. The CIA, with the support of MI6, was responsible for getting arms from Gaddafi's arsenals into Syria. A number of front companies were set up in Libya, some under the cover of Australian entities. Retired American soldiers who didn't always know who was really employing them were hired to manage procurement and shipping. The operation was run by David Petraeus, the CIA director who would soon resign when it became known he was having an affair with his biographer. A spokesperson for Petraeus denying the operation ever took place. Operation had not been disclosed at the time. It was set up to the Congressional Intelligence Committee and the congressional leadership as required by law since the 1970s. Involvement of MI6 enabled the CIA to evade the law by classifying the mission as a liaison operation. The former intelligence official explained that for years there had been recognized exception to the law that permits CIA not to report liaison activity to Congress, which would otherwise be owed a finding. All proposed CIA covert operations must be described in a written document known as a finding, submitted to the senior leadership of Congress for approval. This distribution of the annex was limited to the staff aides who wrote the report and to the 8 ranking members of Congress, the Democratic and Republican leaders of the House and Senate, and Democratic and Republican leaders of the House and Senate Intelligence Committee. This hardly constituted a genuine attempt at oversight. The 8 leaders are not known to gather together to raise questions or discuss the secret information they received. The annex didn't tell the whole story of what happened in Benghazi before the attack, nor did it explain why American consulate was attacked. The consulate's only mission was to provide cover for moving arms. The former intelligence official who has read the annex said it had no real political role. So this just shows that A, there's more to the story to Benghazi, and B, Hillary played a role in both Libya and the unrest that's going on in Syria. So, sorry for the choppy reading. But I'm new at all this, so I hope you enjoyed it.